Hi everyone, it's Yoshka and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hope you all had an amazing day so far, and now it's evening about 8 p.m. And now we're going to continue our adventure on Bloodbones with Bloodbones Part 2. So on the last time we left off, we were paragraph 146 and we have to see whether we want to investigate this light or approach the lighthouse. We're going to investigate the light. Oh, so these wreckers, they're trying to lure a ship to its doom, so it says here. These three must be wreckers, founders who deliberately cause shipwrecks for their own gain, scavenging the booty washed up from the sunken vessels. You must stop them or another ship will fall prey to their cruel intentions. Okay, we're gonna fight. Okay, so that's a good hit right there. And that one is solid too. And this one finishes the first wrecker off. Now we need to face the second wrecker. Nice hit. Solid one. Another solid hit. Okay, that's a great one. Bye bye. Third wrecker. Oh, only just managed to win that attack round. And that one's a good one. That one, yep. Perfect. Perfect. Win. Maybe overcome the wreckers. So, the light is snuffed out and the wreckers lowering onto the rocks, turns away just in time, heading back out towards open sea. You're not sure why, but you have a strange feeling that rescuing the ship was important. Searching the wreckers' bodies, you find a total of 5 gold pieces and a skeleton key. As you are considering what to do, from your vantage point high on the promontory, you spot a sizable cave entrance on the shoreline where the cliff face meets the sea. Could this be the location of the pirates' hideout? We can either climb down to the cave, return to the lighthouse, or leave Minus Point. We're going to go to the lighthouse. The sturdy lighthouse door is locked, but using the skeleton key, you enter the crumbling tower. Inside, you find what's obviously the wrecker's den. Several empty crates have been arranged around a barrel, which acts as a table, and bedrolls lie in one corner. On the barrel are a candle, 2 dice, provisions for 3 meals, and a partially burnt letter which reads, "Has been changed. It is no longer Leviathan. It is now Crossbones. Destroy this letter at once. Should you encounter the snooper, do what is necessary. We meet at the allotted time at..." The rest of the messages no longer exists. This is a valuable clue and you gain 1 luck point. You take the items you think may be useful, and as you do so, you notice a trapdoor in the corner of the room. You can either open the trapdoor, return to the cliff and explore the cave, or leave Malin's Point. We're going to leave Malin's Point. 1 hour has passed now. We're going to go to the cemetery now. Keeping to shadowy doorways wherever possible, you make your way swiftly along Corpse Way towards Dead Man's Gate. How much attention or suspicion have you potentially drawn to yourself or visiting the Port of Crabs? We're under of no or minimal suspicion. Just outside the city walls lies the cemetery. Its pillar entrance is decorated with disturbing statues, and the fog merely adds to the eerie atmosphere of the place. Creeping between the weathered tombstones and mausoleums, you hear the crack of a twig somewhere off to your left and almost jump out of your skin. Spinning around, you are sure you catch a glimpse of something disappearing behind a grim sepulchre. You are not alone in the cemetery. Something else is prowling around here during the hours of darkness. Peering around the corner of a crypt, you see 2 men who look like sailors walking away from you through the mist, carrying a heavy-looking chest between them. Where can they be going, and what are they up to? And we have a crab doubloon. As you can see right there, counterfeit doubloon. You are attracted to something lying in the soil of a freshly dug grave, glinting in the moonlight. Bending down, you pick it up. It is another doubloon with 2 heads. Quivens, the pirate, had such a coin and was a member of Cinnabar's crew, and you have 2 men carrying a chest full of them to a deserted cemetery at night. They must have something to do with the Pirates of the Black Skull. You decide to follow these smugglers. And we are lucky. 1 hour passes. The smugglers eventually stop outside an old tomb overgrown with moss and ivy. Pushing open the granite door, they disappear inside. You wait a few minutes before lighting your lantern and passing through the portal yourself. Your lantern reveals a passageway leading into the gloom. As soon as you step over the threshold, another light becomes visible at the end of the corridor and it starts to move towards you. Gliding along the passage is the apparition of an old man with sunken eye sockets, and talon-like fingernails clogged with grave dirt. The sight of the glowing spectre fills you with a sense of dread, and your blood runs cold when you see that the lantern it carries has been fashioned from a human skull. From the tales you have heard and told of the pot of crabs, you know that this must be a ghostly jack-o'-lantern. The ghost does not attack you, but instead comes to a halt a few meters away from you. Its jaw opens, and the apparition utters only one word: password. Do you know a password? If so, now it's time to say it. It's crossbones. Folklore has it that in the past, pirates would kill one of their crewmen at the place where they buried their treasure or location they wanted to keep secret, so that in the death, the ghost would guard it unsleepingly. This is obviously what Cinnabar did here. Confidently, you speak the word crossbones. Holding your breath, you wait Jackie Lantern's reaction. You may pass, hisses the pirate ghost as he sinks into the earth in front of you. Not waiting to be told twice, you hurry along the passageway, which ends in a flight of steps that descend under the cemetery. At the end of a short passageway, you come to a T-junction. You can hear some noises to the right. You can either go left or right. We're going to go left. You find yourself exploring the pirate's hideout, a collection of meeting rooms, storerooms, and sleeping chambers, but they all appear to be deserted. We can either remain here and make a thorough search of the hideout, or return to the T-junction and go in the opposite direction. We're going to search the place. Your first assumption that the place is deserted proves to be correct. Unhindered, you begin to search the rooms more thoroughly. Rummaging through chests and overturning boxes, you find a sword, enough provisions for 5 meals, and a total of 10 gold pieces. Now we can test our luck. We're lucky again. You also uncover a peculiar 8-sided blue gem in a silk-lined box. Having completed your search, you decide it is time to find out what's going on here, so you head in past the T-junction in the other direction. 1 hour passes. Oh, what is this thing? The tunnel soon ends at a closed door. From beyond it, you hear the sound of something large moving around, and there's an almost overpowering musky animal odor. Boldly, you fling open the door. The monster that is trapped inside of the room immediately turns to face you. It looks like a huge predatory cat with a fiery red coat and a mane, a ridge of spikes growing from its spine, and huge fangs. Lashing behind the beast are several long snake-like tails, each ending in a stinging bump. This is truly a cat o' nine tails. You are somehow going to have to get past this monster if you are to find the powers of the Black Skull. You can either attack it with our sword, distract the beast by throwing some food. We're going to attack it. With a roar, the mutant bounds towards you, whipping its barbed tail and you in a stunning strike. Test your skill. The skill is 12. Right? The skill is 12. Yep, 12. You manage to avoid the attack. You manage to dodge the creature's initial assault, but you must now fight. Okay, let's see what happens here. That's good. So is that. But that isn't. It's okay, I don't need to use the heal button right now. Or maybe I should just... Never mind. Okay, miss. It's okay, 16 stamina is still pretty strong. Oh, another draw. Okay, now this one's bad. Oh, it's a draw again. This one has to be good. Yes. Yes. He's dead. We win. And we did survive the battle. Exhausted after such a titanic struggle, you take a few minutes to recover from the fight. Once you have caught your breath, you take a look at your surroundings. Now that you are no longer being threatened by a ravening monster, you take time to look around the room you're in. It is a Spartan affair, containing just a few pieces of broken furniture, but on the other side of it is a door leading onwards. You also notice an entrance to a cave which, with the iron portcullis that barred it raised. Obviously, the pirates let the lion tails out into the main room to stop anyone from following them. The mutant itself was captured by Cinnabar and one of his voyagers and brought back to the pot of crabs to guard the entrance to its innermost sanctum. Do we want to open the door, or would you rather investigate the cat's cave? Now we're going to open the door. Carefully, you open the second door. How long has it taken to get this far? It has taken 8 hours or less. It has taken just 6 hours. So let's go here. This is the death god Keskari, and this is Cinnabar. And this is too long, so I'll do the 5-second rule again. Okay, so we may die, but we have. Let's see what a shark's teeth bracelet can do. We bought it from the bazaar. As you can see right there, shark's teeth bracelet. Cool, we regain 1 luck point. And let's see what we can do here. When you're sure that the coast is clear, you creep out of the room into a corridor. To your right is a door with a brass plate captain plaque. It's pronounced plaque, my bad. With a brass plaque captain fixed next to it. Fixed on it. Sorry, fixed to it. Sorry, don't mind me. At the far end of the corridor, a staircase descends into the gallery. Another passage runs off from the first to your left, with a door at its far end and two unmarked doors on the left and right. You can either open the far door, the door to the left, the door to the right, the door marked Captain, or descend the stairs. Let's descend the stairs first. Descending the stairs, you are enticed onward by the smells of cooking. Entering a large warm room in the hold, you find yourself in the pirate's kitchen, and the cook doesn't appear too pleased at being interrupted. Bladderak, the cook, is a huge, blubbery man, stripped to the waist and sweating disgustingly. Although his recipes for the crew are conventional fare, it is known that his own tastes are more cannibalistic, and the necklace of finger bones attests to this fact. Seeing that you're not one of the pirates, Bladderak picks up a pan of boiling water and hurls it at you. Test your skill. Easy. You succeed. You manage to dodge the pan of scalding water as it sails past your head, but now you're going to have to deal with the enraged Bladderak. A meat cleaver gripped tightly in one podgy hand, the cannibal cook charges at you, his rolls of fat wobbling disgustingly. Time to fight. Hopefully we don't lose stamina this time. But yeah, I have the heal button, but I try my best not to be a cheater because cheaters never get a hit. I don't even need to. We defeat the cook. Manage to defeat the cook. The cannibalistic cook disposed of, you manage to collect food for 4 meals before you leave the kitchen and a sample of bladder rice broth which restores 4 stamina, which means we're now up to 20. Yep. Now we go back to the top of the staircase and decide what to do. We're going to open the door to the left. You enter a small dark room and are immediately assailed by the heady smell of burning herbs. Through the smoke, you can make out a large man sitting inside a chalk circle, wearing only a loincloth, macabre necklaces, and a headdress of brightly colored feathers. This must be Cinnabar's witch doctor Malu. In one hand, he holds a purgative wand, and the bodies of small dead animals surround him. At your arrival, Malu steps out of the trance-like state he was in and mutters something incomprehensible under his breath. Suddenly, your hair starts to spin. You have -1 skill for the skill check. And we still win. You suddenly realize that what the witch doctor is up to. He is trying to cut your mind with magic. Concentrating hard, you step into the chalk circle, breaking Malu's spell. Almost on top of the man, you cannot avoid combat as he springs to his feet and lunges at you with his wand. If the witch doctor strikes you, the wand drains 3 points of stamina rather than the usual 2. Okay, let's go. And this one is a draw. And this one is a win for me. Yep, down to 6 stamina. And this one is a attritional win in terms of the attack round. One more and he's done. Yep, he's done. Yes, we did kill Cinnabar's servant. The witch doctor's room is full of totems and votive offerings. Amongst his possessions are a crocodile amulet, a small whalebone scanter artifact, and his wand, which now seems to have lost its power. You take all of these objects before leaving Malu's den. When you are finished, you must decide what to investigate next. We're going to open the door marked Captain. As you suspected, the door opens into the captain's cabin. Fortunately, however, there is no sign of anyone being here at the moment. The cabin is plushly decorated with mahogany paneling and thick velvet drapes. The room is lit by an oil lamp hanging from a beam, and an empty birdcage swings from the rafters, but there are 4 things that really attract your attention. A globe of Titan, a large oak chest, Cinnabar's desk, and an orange ship in a bottle. What would you like to take a close look at? We'll look at the globe first. It doesn't take you long to discover that the globe is hollow and opens. Inside a cloth bag containing 24 golds. Inside is a cloth bag containing 24 gold pieces and a diamond necklace. You take the captain's treasure. We're going to look at the chest next. The chest isn't locked, and raising the lid, you find it full of fine and no doubt stolen clothes and tapestries. Under the luxurious garments, you find a large stoppered bottle of rum, which you decide to take. From the expensive label, you can tell this rum will restore 4 stamina points when consumed. Oh yeah, sorry, I read the second line a bit too fast. It is, you find it full of fine and no doubt stolen clothes and tapestries. Okay, now we're not going to look at the desk because I know it's bad. We're going to look at the ship in the bottle. Despite being exquisitely made and incredibly detailed, there doesn't seem to be anything unusual about the ship. Of course, you could always try smashing the bottle to examine the model more closely, although this will probably make a lot of noise and possibly alert the others on the ship to your presence. We're going to do it anyway. Having smashed the bottle, you have been cut by a shot of glass, lose 1 stamina. You wait for a minute in case the sound of breaking glass has attracted anyone's attention. No pirates burst into the cabin, so you proceed to examine the wreckage of the ship. Inside its fragile hull is a scroll. Unrolling the parchment, you see that it is a map of a place called Bone Island. Written at the bottom of the map are the words 460 leagues south. Taking the map with you, you decide it's time to leave Cinnabar's cabin. As you can see right here, we can test our luck, and we are lucky. Where will you head next? Open the far door. We're not going to look at the one on the right. You step through the doorway into the watery light of the dawn. You are now on the deck of the Virago. Milling about in front of you are the crew, and standing at the forecastle is Cinnabar himself, a mangy pirate perched on his shoulder. Suddenly, the evil captain looks around and, seeing you, shouts his pirate to capture you. There are far too many of them to take on by yourself, so you do the only thing you can. You have no choice but to jump ship. The way to the side of the ship is blocked by the ruffians, so you run for the rigging. 3 pirates immediately step into your path. You must try to cut your way through, but you will not fight in the usual way. Instead, you will have just 1 round of combat against each pirate as you attempt to barge your way past. So, let's cut down the first pirate. Easy. Now let's stab the second pirate. Easy. Now let's run through the third pirate. Easy. Yeah, I know these enemies have a very low skill, but when you come to enemies with higher skills, it's going to be more irritating when you have low skill. Okay, we managed to evade all 3 of the rogues ranged against us. Oh no, there's a shark right here. It's a great white shark. Scrubbing up the galleon's rigging, you find yourself trapped unless, cutting a rope free, you grab hold of the end and leap into midair. Swinging down towards the pirates, you flail about with your sword to keep them at bay. There is a cry of pain from one of the buccaneers as you see a red-haired woman clutching the stump where her hand used to be. You sail past the infuriated pirates over the edge of the Virago. Letting go of the rope, you drop several meters before hitting the water. The galleon continues on its course, leaving you stranded in the middle of the Western Ocean, as the crew watch you, laughing. Or are they really looking at you? They actually seem to be watching something behind you. "Have a good swim!" shouts one of them. Turning around in the water, you see the telltale triangular fin, and ducking your head under the waves, you see a great white shark closing in on you, jaws wide open. You just have time to draw your sword before it is on you. Fighting underwater is difficult, and as a result, your attack strength is reduced by 2 points for the duration of this battle. Also, unless you defeat the shark in 7 attack rounds or less, you will drown. But before that, we're going to use the Potion of Giant Strength. It's going to increase our attack strength by 2. Let's go. Now let's fight. Great white shark. Skill 9, stamina 10. Oops. Oh no, why did I press the trackpad again? My fingers being really naughty. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, this one is okay. That one's okay. Oh, no, that one isn't. That one isn't. Okay, I don't want to drown. I want to live. Okay, let's use luck this time. If we're lucky, we do an extra 2 points of stamina. Yes! Yes, we actually killed it. Sorry, the volume's a bit loud. Let me reduce it. Okay, we did kill the great white. Having jumped ship, you are now stranded in the middle of the Western Ocean with no sight of land anywhere. The turquoise water stretched in every direction as far as the horizon. Did you recently save a ship from being dashed upon some rocks? Yes, we did. Treading water, you catch sight of a vessel in the distance. Waving your arms furiously, you succeed in attracting the crew's attention. The sailors immediately set a course to pick you up. The ship comes alongside and you are hauled on board. Fortunately, your oilskin backpack has kept all your provisions and possessions safe and dry. You're greeted by a handsome man whose face is tanned from exposure to the elements and scarred on one side. Welcome to the Fortune, he said. I am her captain, and a bounty hunter by trade. My name is Konyin. What? Konyin, the bounty hunter? The man who killed Cinnabar? You respond, shocked. The very same, he admits proudly. But tell me, who are you? And how come we find you alone in the middle of the ocean? You relate your tale to a credulous Konyin over some fine Femfrayan pot in his quarters, and by the time your story is done, his expression has lost its former cheeriness. Will you help me stop Cinnabar? You ask. Of course I shall, says Konyin resolutely. But how are we going to find him? Do you know where the Virago was headed? If you do so, you should have learned 2 coordinates. To tell Konyin the easterly distance, which is 370. Thanks to the cartographer Pundi Malago, we know this. Yep, and the southerly distance. We found that in the ship in the bottle on the Virago. Yep. Ah, Bone Island, muses Konyin. I've heard rumors about the place. Talk of voodoo and buried treasure, but I didn't know of its location until now. Before directing his crew to a set course for Bone Island, Konyin turns to you. There are 2 different roads we can take. The quicker one should allow us to catch up with the Virago, but it will take us through the crowd of reefs, which are notorious for the gigantic crustaceans said to dwell there. However, if we avoid the reefs, our journey will take longer. Which way do you think we should go? If you wish to take the quick route and journey through the crab reefs, turn to 267. If you rather play it safe and sail around it, turn to 297. We will sail around it. It takes 2 days for the Fortune to sail around the perilous crab reefs. During this time, you are able to rest and recover strength. You gain 6 stamina points, 1 luck, and 1 skill point. Eventually, with the reefs behind you, the crew set across for Bone Island, turn to 168. Around noon the next day, the previously clear sky suddenly and inexplicably darkens. As the Fortune sails on under the leaden sky, another ship comes into view of the port below. It appears to be in a state of terrible despair and is surrounded by a pall of sickly green mist. Konyin looks at the vessel through his telescope and his face becomes ashen. He turns, asking what is troubling him. It is the Sea Maiden, a ghost ship, he explains. Folklore has it that its crew and captain are cursed to sail the 12 seas for all eternity. We should avoid it at all costs. You are now curious about the Sea Maiden. We can either persuade him to approach the ship or focus on the goal. We're going to persuade him to go approach the ghost ship. The bounty hunter finally agrees to approach the vessel, but will have nothing to do with the ship itself. As the Fortune nears the Sea Maiden, you see that its sails are rotten and the planks it is constructed from are covered with algae. Only the ghost ship figurehead of a beautiful young woman appears untarnished. You can see no one on deck, the only sound being the moan of the wind in the ship's sails and the creaking of the mast. Do you want to personally board the Sea Maiden and explore it further, or would you rather leave the vessel on its eternal voyage? And this is what we will figure out the next time on Bloodbones. Thank you all for watching again. Do remember to leave a like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos coming your way. And for part 3, we will find out what we should do next. We can either board the Sea Maiden or leave the Sea Maiden and continue our journey to Bone Island. Thanks again for watching. Take care and goodbye.